We are live. So in today's live, I'm just gonna speak my mind. Um, I'm gonna talk about money control, money restrictions. I'm gonna talk about how I view money. I'm gonna talk about how I view the money system. I'm also gonna talk about using your painful experiences to your advantage, or using your painful experiences to help you go far in life. I'm also gonna talk about how to use your anger, how to use your aggression to take you far in life, and how to like pretty much set your life up to make you happy, to make you successful and abundant. Try to like utilizing more energy, such as anger, because I feel like anger is such a powerful fucking tool. Anger and fucking aggression, you can use it in a good way and a bad way. But I'm gonna talk about how you use it in a good way. I'm also gonna talk about the frustrations, obstacles, and the blockages that I had to deal with in life growing up and still am facing today. So let's get to it. So I feel like throughout life, this is my opinion. I feel like God or the universe or just life in general, they're aware of how lame this life is. They're aware of how shitty this life is. So this is why, like, all the things you really want out of life, if it seems like you can't obtain those things, in my opinion, it's because life, God, or the universe, or your higher self, they're trying to fucking like block you from getting those things because they're aware of like how shitty and lame this realm is. So if you're able to get the things you really wanted that so easily, then you're not going to be satisfied with life. Then there's pretty much no point in life. This is why we're like, if you want something or there's something you really want, you have to go through so much shit. You have to go through, you got to go through hell. You got to make sacrifices. You got to get so much effort just to get those things. And once you do those, you finally have those things. So for some people, it takes their whole life just to get those things. For some people, it takes like so much shit just to get those things, man. Not everyone experiences that, but most people. It depends on your karma, your life purpose, and shit like that. And with me, for example, I always wanted to meet like-minded friends, like-minded people. I always wanted to be in a very loving, romantic connection. I always wanted to be in a position where like I don't have to be forced to do something I don't want to do in order for me to survive, in order for me to make money. Why is that? Like I'm forced to be around people I don't like, forced to do things I don't like because of money. Why is it that? Why is that like I have so much restrictions? I can't meet certain people. I can't travel around the world. I can't get the things I really want. I can't pursue my hobbies as much as I want. I can't have my own schedule because of money restrictions. You know what I'm saying? So growing up and me still experiencing this shit, I'm just so fed up. I'm so pissed off for that. So, and it makes me so angry. I'm just so pissed the fact that like I'm always around toxic people. I'm so pissed that like I'm always around people who aren't at my wavelength, people who don't see or think things like me. I'm not saying you have to think exactly like me or be like me. I don't mean it in a narcissistic way, but I'm always around people who are like they just do a lot of different shit than I do, and I don't fucking want to be around them. I'm always in the positions where like like to be around people that aren't on my wavelength. But and I'm also so pissed the fact that I'm always around like abusive family members, toxic family members, toxic friends, and I'm always in situations to where like if I really want something like a vehicle or like material items or just travel around the world, I can't do those things on my own terms whenever I want. Instead, I have to budget. I have to wait years just to get the things I want. I have to do things I don't want to do just so I can make money, such as working at a job I don't want to be in. In return, I gotta be forced. I gotta be forced to be around people I don't want to be around with. The shit like that. Just the fact that I constantly had to experience all this shit, and I know a lot of people experience this shit as well. Why is my nose always itchy whenever I make lives? But fuck. See, it's throwing me off track. It could be some spiritual warfare type of shit, man. Fuck. But anyways, um, just the fact that I'm always experiencing this shit. I'm not gonna lie, all this shit it pisses me off so much. All the obstacles, all the blockages. I'm just so sick of being unsatisfied with life. I'm not depressed or anything, but there are things where like I'm the type of person where if I don't feel like doing it, I don't want to fucking do it. If I feel like doing something, I want to do it. And I hate being restricted, limited by fucking money, right? I'm so sick of that shit. So that gives me a lot of anger, but also basically money corruption, dumbass people I gotta be around with, fucking family members that are fucking retarded, and all this stupid ass shit, right? That shit pissed me off. So what I realized is that like I have a lot of anger and obviously sadness. I'm very upset. So you can use that shit to your advantage. I feel like the more obstacles someone has to go through, the more bullshit they have to experience with like blockages, karma, fucking karmic ties, fucking all this shit they gotta deal with that they're forced to deal with through like again karma, through life situations and shit by being around by experiencing a lot of obstacles and blockages, right? If people were to constantly experience that throughout their whole lives and they're able to overcome all that shit, just like what Inoue and Chauncey Wan said, just if you have a strong spirit, the stronger the spirit, the more bullshit and obstacles you have to go through. It can be the most petty shit, like money, people, just the most pettiest shit, and it's so annoying. And you got constantly experiences that he talks about like when like a spirit or a human experiences this shit, that it shows how powerful you are. Versus the average person who they don't gotta deal as much obstacles, they ain't gotta deal with much karma and shit. Life seems smooth and shit. They're able to attract the things they want. Yes, they worked hard for it, but the same person is also going through bullshit obstacles and bullshit experiences and abuse and shit. They're also putting in work. But the only difference is that one person is going through a lot of shit. He has to deal with a lot of karma. So he has less free will than the other person who's able to attract all those things. And other things play out as well. Like it depends on their purpose. It depends on their life path. It depends on the lessons they're meant to learn. So it may look differently from other people, which is right. So I have no right to speak on that. But I'm just saying for people, I'm just talking about people who have more karma than the average person. But the person, and Chauncey Wan, he talked about this as well on one of his videos. If that person, that spirit is able to overcome that shit, if he's able to overcome all those obstacles, that makes him a tougher spirit. Because if he's able to go through all this karma and overcome it, he could attract all the shit he wants. He could experience all the success he wants because he know what it's like to experience rock bottom. He know what it's like to battle through blockages, obstacles, karma, and all the bullshit life has to throw at that person. And you even see this in successful people. Not all of them, because some successful people, in my opinion, I feel like the reasons why some successful, not all, but some successful people, they tend to have easier lives because they're either like a weaker spirit or like they have to go through certain lessons and shit where like it requires a lot of money and shit. That's why you see the most retarded, most stupid ass people, but yet they make a lot of money. My theory is that like the reason why you have dumbass people who seem to make a lot of money, but they don't know how to use it the right way, or they're not producing good content, is because they're meant to learn certain life lessons that revolves around them making a lot of money versus the average person who deserves to make a lot of money. But we do have some successful people who deserve that shit, who's been through a lot of things and they know how to use their wealth and shit. But where am I getting at? All I'm getting at is that like all that shit, it really pissed me off, right? And usually people who also experience a lot of anger and shit like that, it's always important to use it in the right direction. Don't use it in the wrong direction. Your anger is justified. Your sadness, being upset, all that shit is justified because life is bullshit. All the basic things we really want out of life, life is gonna make you go through hell, go through so much shit just for you to obtain those things. Because life in itself, in my opinion, is so lame. This is why God or life, they're going to throw so much obstacles in your life just so you can get the basic shit you need, which you really should have been have in the beginning of your life. But instead, you got to go through so much stages, so much obstacles, and you got to do so much healing work just to get those things. And that in itself is going to make you more engaged with life. You know what I'm saying? That's my opinion, man. But all I'm saying is anger is such a powerful tool for you to reach success because when you're angry, you can have more adrenaline, you can have more motivation, you're naturally gonna have more energy to take action and shit. Because when you're angry, you're more focused and shit. Why do you think when people rob banks, fucking kill people and get revenge on someone, that takes a lot of energy, but they're able to do it? Why? Because of anger. And anger creates a lot of energy. But you can also use the anger in the right way. People talk about this as well. You see Kobe Bryant, you see LeBron James, for example. They're one of the best NBA players out there. You see them scoring so many points, and if you watch those highlights, you can see how angry they are. You can see how they use their aggression because they're being aggressive. You can't be aggressive without being angry. They use their anger as motivation. You even hear like Kobe Bryant on his movie Muse. I think it's called Muse. He talks about how like he uses his anger, his sadness, all the hardships he had to experience. He used that to his motive. He used that as motivation, and and during that time, he was scoring so many points. He was getting so much rewards and success because he uses anger as motivation. Being angry is such a powerful tool, man. But you know what I'm saying? It's just I don't know. Don't use the anger in the wrong direction. You know what I'm saying? It's so easy to do the wrong thing. It's so easy to stay on the wrong track in life, to get in trouble with the law, this and that. This is why it's always important to use your anger in the right way. Instead of using your anger to fight people, to cuss people out, to rob banks, to fucking steal, to like do shit like that. Instead, use your anger to work out. Use your anger to run. And not just half-assed it, but go full on it. Work out until you destroy your body. Run until you hurt your body. Fucking use your anger to focus on your studies. Use your anger to get you ahead in life. Use your anger to overcome your insecurities. Use your anger to overcome your trauma. Use your anger to heal. Use your anger to fucking all the things that you fear, like you're insecure about, like talking to people or like your social anxiety. Use your anger to overcome that shit. You know what I'm saying? Use your anger to take action and to be productive in life. Use your anger. That's what I mean by using anger in the right way. I'm also going to talk about now. I'm going to talk about how I view money. When it comes to money and finances, it's just crazy how much money has control over people and over society. You can't meet certain amounts of people. You can't date your romantic interests. You can't eat certain types of food. You can't buy a certain shit without money. You can't buy clothes without money. You can't you can't even meet a romantic interest without money because you gotta take care of that person. You gotta take that person out on dates and shit. Most divorces happen because of money. Most the the, the average family system in society, you can't function properly without money. If you don't have money, how are you gonna survive? How's your family gonna survive? Money revolves around survival. So money revolves around everything. You can't travel around the world without money because you need money to buy a passport, I think, and then you also need money to go to the airplane and to travel. You need money to buy a car. So what happens if you don't have money? You can't afford to buy a car. You can't afford to buy a house. No shelter, no food, no water, no clothes. Especially if you don't have enough money to buy a car, how are you gonna go to work? How are you gonna travel? How are you gonna meet different people? How are you gonna experience new things out of life? How are you gonna go from point A to point B? You can't because you don't have enough money. I'm not saying money is a good thing or a bad thing. I'm just saying without a doubt, money has control over us. Most people in this world aren't happy because they're forced to do things because of money. While you have people who are extremely happy because they're able to do a lot of things because of money. But money is just a piece of paper. It's not backed up by gold or anything like that. And there's no right or wrong, but it just shows you how much control paper has on people, right? Money is responsible for pain, for wars, and all this other shit. And we have a lot of imbalance when it comes to money. We still have homeless people. We still have like certain countries who are in so much chaos because of money, right? So I guess the main goal is to do something you really enjoy doing, you really love doing, like following your heart, but like try to do certain shit that makes you happy that will make you money. I'm not saying work for money or like let money control you, but what I'm saying is that like try to use your gifts, try to use your talents to make money the most you can. Even if you're working at a job you don't really like, try to you and you're not able to leave that situation or leave that job. Use your fucking gifts, use your talents to perform well at that job. For example, if you love computers, right? If you love working with computers, and since you're working at a job you don't like, but yet it involves computers and your job duties involves computers, put all of your energy into working with computers and shit, or use your willpower, your leadership skills, and all that shit to make you excel in your fucking workplace, right? And that's what you got to do, man. But I don't know, man. It's just crazy how much money has control over us, man. Money. I view money as like a double-edged sword. We're forced to do things. Lives get killed. lives are miserable because of money, man. And like I said before, this is why it's always important to do the things you love, to follow your heart, and to partake in things that you enjoy doing in order for you to make money. You know what I'm saying? You utilize your gifts, your talents to the best of your ability so you can attract a lot of money and flow. There's a generational curses, toxic family, abusive households. A lot of people experience generational curses. A lot of people experience family fights, family households and shit. I'm not saying you gotta be a perfect family or anything like that, but there are people who experience a lot of like dysfunction when it comes to family. Even I've experienced this. There are times where like I've experienced being around abusive family members, right? But and I really hated them. I really hated that. And I had no control over that because I couldn't leave my house. I couldn't travel to a different state or go to a different city because I wasn't making enough money at the time. I didn't even have a car, so I couldn't leave my family whenever I went. The most I could do was live in my grandma's house. But even while I was living with my grandma's house, it sucked because like I didn't have a car, so like I couldn't do the things I needed to get done, such as working at a bullshit job so I can make enough money so I can save up. I couldn't go to certain places where I could like enjoy myself because I didn't have a car. You see what I'm saying? And I couldn't go back and forth to my family's house so I could get the things I need, like clothes, fucking hygiene products. I couldn't bring over to my grandma's house because I didn't have a car. But that's what I'm getting at. Like, that's how much money has control over you. There are people who are in abusive households because, and they can't get out of their situation because of money. This is bullshit, man. And when it comes to money, you can have the most hardest money. Doesn't matter how much effort you put in. You can have the most hardest worker who's working at a certain job, who puts their heart and soul into a situation, right? But he could be making $10 an hour, $15 an hour, right? Whereas you have another person who fucking gets naked online and posts videos and pictures of this person's fucking naked body, and this person is able to make thousands of dollars, even millions, hundreds of dollars per hour, per fucking weeks, per month, and shit. And that person's making a full living off of it. And that person's able to do whatever this person wants, whenever this person wants, right? While you have the other person who's using his blood, sweat, and tears to work at that job, but he's not getting shit in return, right? And that's what I'm getting at. When it comes to money, I'm not saying, this is my opinion, I'm not saying effort doesn't matter, but what I'm saying is that like there are people like money doesn't play fair. That's what I'm trying to say. Life don't play fair. Money doesn't play fair. That's why you gotta be smart. But you even see lottery tickets, or like you see people who win the lottery, right? You can have the most lazy fucking person who has no life goals, who doesn't do shit with their life, right? Who doesn't do shit. But that same person can easily win the lottery and win fucking over thousands, hundred thousands, millions of dollars, right? Because he won a fucking lottery. And he didn't do shit but to get that but luck. While you have other people who sacrifices their body because they gotta wake up so early, they're being overworked and burnt out. They're forced to do things and be around people they don't want to be with because of money. And that person's struggling to get by. While you have another lazy, fat fucking person who doesn't do shit with their life, but yet they're able to make a lot of money because he won the lottery. And that's where I'm getting at, man. Oh no, man. I'm just talking about some random shit, man. I'm just fed up, man, with like I hate how much like control money has over people. I'm not saying money is a bad thing, but what I am saying is that like this sucks, man, how like how much money has control over us, man. I'm not letting it affect me or anything like that, but what I'm saying is that like we shouldn't live lives to where like money is fucking like controlling us to the full extent to where like we're forced to do things and be around people we don't want to be with. Man. You know what I'm saying? Cars and vehicles, they shouldn't be expensive. And yes, I consider $3,000, $5,000 the average car price expensive. Why? Because a lot of people work minimum wage jobs. A lot of people get paid $15 to $30 an hour. In my opinion, that's minimum wage. So if you're making $15 to $30 an hour, yes, the average car payment, which is like 5 to 10K, I consider that as expensive as a collective. Most people can't afford that, or if they can afford it, they can barely afford that shit. Last time I checked, cars and vehicles is one of the most important things an average human being needs. They need a car so they could go to work. They need a car to go from point A to point B. They need a car to meet different types of people and to travel and to even have fun. But most importantly, to go like grocery shopping, going at stores to buy clothes and shelter. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, to go to work. So why is our cars so expensive, man? Cars should be around at least like $400, $500. Why is it like over $1,000 and shit? This shit makes no fucking sense. It's stupid. But it's retarded, man. Sometimes like people in these spiritual channels, people like who are like religious, they talk about the importance of having faith, believing in the higher power, believing in God and the universe, that no matter what, I think it's gonna be all right. Which I personally believe in that. It's always good to have faith. It's always, even if these beings aren't real, it's still good to have faith, or like a higher power, knowing that like no matter what tough situation, no matter what tough obstacle you're going through, you're gonna be okay, and like it's not gonna last forever. It's healthy to have that, in my opinion. But at times, it's kind of hard to have faith because when you're constantly experiencing enslavement, dumbass people, and just a lot of restrictions when it comes to money. But this is why, like, you gotta follow your heart. You gotta believe in yourself, and you gotta have big dreams. That's why, and people talk about this. This is why you gotta have a strong vision. You gotta know what you want. You gotta stay focused. But most importantly, you still gotta have big dreams and big goals. What's the point of life if you don't have big dreams and big goals, right? But I don't know. It's just kind of weird how like I kind of see the bullshit of life. I feel like what God would do, or what the universe would do, or like the rules of life. I think what they'll do is that like they're aware of like how lame this world is, right? This is why it's always important for humans to dream big, to have goals, because in order for them to get those things, life is going to throw so much obstacles, so much bullshit in order for them to get those things. Because if they were to get those things very easily, life wouldn't be as engaging or as exciting, and life will expose itself, and people will see life how it is, which is ain't shit pretty much. And life doesn't want that. I don't know. This is my opinion, but all I'm saying is use your anger to your motivation. Don't use your anger in a bad way, but use your anger in the right way. Also, the moral of this video is how I view money. It's crazy how much money has control over us, but don't let money control your life. And also, the moral of this video is the importance of following your heart and using your talents and gifts to take you far in life, to attract the things you want to live. Try to better yourself, try to better your situation, and try to make this world a better place. And that's one of the meanings of life. To make this world a better place, to follow your heart, showcase your gifts, your talents, and do the best you can for yourself, towards the people that are in your life, and try to make this world a better place. And use your anger in the right direction. That's all I got to say. And have a good one. Peace.